Sports, 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 sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to Sportsball, part of the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. We talk about sports-related topics, but we focus on you, the fan, and what you like, whether it's a sport, team, athlete, sports-related news, or sports-related topics. And today I'm talking about the Chicago Bulls have fired Executive Vice President Arturas Kurnisevich and General Manager Mark Eversley after 6 years at the helm of the Chicago Bulls. Now, there's probably a myriad of reasons why these two were dismissed, but the biggest reason is that they sucked at their job. They weren't very good at creating a consistent contender. And when they did have assets that they were ready to cash in on and flip for better pieces, they were always like a season and a half to 2 seasons too late on cashing in with them. In addition, they had shown no affinity for actually being good at drafting as well, because conceivably you could see some of the draft picks that the Chicago Bulls have had over the last 6 years and think there's got to be some degree of some degree of like progress or learning from who we could draft that we could get better, but no, they haven't. So if we look at the last 6 years of Chicago Bulls draft history, where they teams. Okay. So if we're looking at the Bulls draft history from 2020 to 2026, which is when this regime first came into the mix. So in 2020, you had the fourth pick and they drafted Patrick Williams, which Patrick Williams just no. Patrick Williams is not a good player. He's not like this is where circumstances just did not work out in anybody's favor for this. But the issue also is that who else are you going to draft during this time? They did pass on such. They didn't. They drafted Patrick Williams instead of Kongwu, Obi Toppin. Yeah, Kongwu's still on the Obi Toppin, Denny Avdia, Devin Vassell, Tyrese Halliburton, Cole Anthony, even Isaiah Stewart. There's lots of other people, and Tyrese Maxey was still there. So a lot of people that the Bulls passed on in order to draft Patrick Williams. So that's not good. Their second round pick was Marco Simonovic, which he is back playing in the Euro League now. So that turned out to be a good move on all parts. They drafted Ayo Dosunmu with the second round of the 2021 draft, and then they flipped him way too late. Dalen Terry, who currently in the G League, so that's a plus. Traded him to the 76ers, or he was on the 76ers, but now he's in the G League. Julian Phillips, who okay, that's he got Julian Phillips got added into the Timberwolves, or the trade to the Timberwolves for that one person. Oh, he's part of the Odosumu trade. Montez Pazelis in the 2024 draft, which that's good. That's good. And then Noah Senge, who he played like a couple of weeks, and then he has been out most of the season for you know shoulder injury. So their draft history is not very great. And if you notice during that time, most of that entire year, or like most of the decade preceding that, the Bulls had at least two draft picks during each of those, because they had their first and second round picks. During that time, the Chicago Bulls front office gave away most of their draft picks to acquire people via trade. So those trades did not pan out very well at all. And they made Chicago not a desirable free agent destination. Even though a lot of other people did not like the Chicago Bulls as a decent free agent destination. And then just who they signed via trades wasn't very good either. The Josh Giddey trade is looking okay. Sucks for Josh Giddey that he's now stuck here. And the just all the other trades, it's just to be determined. But the reports came out that the Jaden Ivey situation was the straw that broke the camel's back, which that just means that they overlook so many of these other situations, and then this Jaden Ivey situation is just the thing that they pretty much gave up Jaden Ivey for Kevin Herter, and then that's it. And that sucks because Kevin Herter is at least a productive member of the team, and Jaden Ivey is now no longer on the team, probably not going to be in the NBA much longer. So I welcome this change. I just think that this is going to accelerate Billy Donovan's departure from the Bulls unless they elevate him to a front office position. I thought that he was going to take the North Carolina job, but apparently North Carolina had different thoughts, and they hired Michael Malone instead. Which that's a choice. That's a choice, right? So curious to see how that's going to pan out for North Carolina. But all of this to say, I think that this was the right move, and the damage has been done. Though that's the problem is that whoever is going to take over this god awful job is going to have a hell of a time trying to repair all the damage that has been done. On the plus, there's a lot of draft picks. The Bulls have a ton of draft capital over the next couple of years. They've got a lot of cap space now, and they've got a lot of young players they got to evaluate and figure out what they need to do with. So this could be potentially a blessing in disguise, but whoever is going to have the job after these two, it's going to be it's just going to be rough. And then you throw on top of that the Chicago Sky recently traded Angel Reese to the Atlanta Dream for two first round picks. And this is just like another example of how just like Chicago basketball teams are just like not in the best place because Angel Reese talked about how she didn't want to sign back with the Bulls or with the Sky, and that sucks because she's an extremely talented player, and so I don't know what's going on. And all of this points to just kind of just one thing right now, and that is Jerry Reinsdorf. It's time. It's time. You got to sell the team because right now, the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago White Sox are just in shambles right now. They're just in shambles. It's horrible. And I think it is high time for for both teams to be under new ownership so that we can finally get some clarity on the direction for both of these teams. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's just high time that Jerry Reinsdorf cash in on both of these franchises and sell them for just for a truckload of money. If the Lakers can sell for $10 billion, the Chicago Bulls, and just all the facilities and everything like that, that could fetch at least, I'm gonna guess, between $3 and $5 billion at least. Because if Boston sold for about $5 billion or so, I could see a situation where Chicago can sell for at least that because Chicago is, at least top five in terms of championships by NBA teams. Granted, the Chicago Bulls have not won a championship in almost 30 years, and they haven't been in the playoffs for a while either. So I don't know. We'll see how this pans out for them. But all of this to say, I think these are good moves for the Bulls. I don't think it's going to matter until Jerry Reinsdorf sells the team, but at least by showing that he's willing to dismiss both of these front office members who didn't have a great tenure. Some of the trades that they made and some of the extensions that they made, like re-signing Zach LaVine to his untradeable number, was just not great. Granted, Zach LaVine did great things for the Bulls, and the Vooch Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan tandem just did not yield the results that it needed to. We're at least moving in a direction where the Bulls can just completely bottom out and potentially just rebuild from the ground up. So we'll see how that what happens from there. But what do you think? What do you think of the Chicago Bulls moves? Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Sports Ball. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Shout out to iFlyer Creative Studios for making an awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you've got any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at highflyercreative.com. Check out the other shows in our network. We've got a lot of great content. Really proud of the work that everyone's doing. So please check out and support the other members of the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And finally, if you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM Crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, pain heals, chick stick scars, glory lasts forever.